Blue Origin is making a lot of progress on its return to its pad. Japan finally launches another rocket, and it makes it to space this time. And how well is the Artemis 3 rocket being built? All of that is to come and much more on this week's episode of Orbit Weekly. This week we are kicking things off with a little bit of news from each of Blue Origin and SpaceX. This week SpaceX on the launch front successfully executed a high priority mission on Saturday evening. On August 15th, sending a fresh batch of next generation Globalstar 2R satellites into low Earth orbit aboard a veteran Falcon 9 from Space Launch Complex 40. Utilizing advanced MDA-built architecture, this flight kicks off an aggressive campaign to modernize Globalstar's mobile communications network and bolster continuous commercial voice and data relay. Upgrades, people. Upgrades. Meanwhile, heavy lift development continues to make waves across the Space Coast as Blue Origin finally broke ground on major infrastructure expansions this week. Following its root cause identification of the spring BE4 valve anomaly, Blue Origin is officially modifying Launch Complex 36 at Cape Canaveral to build a dedicated secondary pad. 36B, complete with an elevated launch mount, flame trench, and a massive Starship-style vertical integration facility designed to support New Glen's 9x4 configuration variants and national security missions side by side. So, this is where we get a lot of competition. And this is where, yes, we get a lot of competition, even though I just said that. But that brings out the best in things, right? So, not only, as Jack Byer used to say, more launches, more better. More ability, more better. So, there's more launches coming from them. A greater deal of availability for stuff to not only be sent to Earth orbit, to the moon, maybe even further, we don't really know. But from what this sounds like, it will probably be mostly military types of things. I wouldn't be surprised if it was anything but that. But New Glenn has definitely shown that it is able to handle it. But it's not back in service yet, so we don't know when that will be. They're still on track as of right now, but we'll see, right? So, we're going to move, I guess, to the opposite side of the world. I mean, Japan just launched something too, right? Shifting gears to international operations and allied space domain security, Japan achieved a major milestone this week. The key cooperative defense payload they launched. On August 10th, the Japanese Aerospace Exploration Agency, or JAXA, successfully launched the quasi-zenith satellite 7, aboard an H-3 rocket from the Taneshima Space Center, while QZS-7 anchors Japan's domestic navigation grid. This mission marks a major milestone as the first bilateral U.S.-Japan space defense program under that hosted framework. Tucked aboard the spacecraft is a sovereign U.S. space domain awareness sensor suite, operated by Space Force Mission Delta II, streaming real-time tracking intelligence into the space surveillance network and significantly sharpening Allied situational awareness across the Indo-Pacific geosynchronous belt. All of that big jargon for "we're watching you, even though you're just a boat in the ocean." That's pretty much all it is. I mean, if you're going to put it down that way, that's really all it does. It shouldn't be a surprise there. The thing that they launch is a technical demonstration. They're just seeing if it works or not. And if it does, great. And if not, they fix it. That is what it is. It wasn't really that exciting. But I think we'll watch the launch of it later. But I will say, later in launches, it gets explosive. It does get explosive. We like that. Anyways, let's check in on Artemis 3. We are taking the long way around back to NASA again, all the way back to the other side of the planet, to see how Artemis 3 is getting on. This week, NASA delivered a press conference as a confidence boost regarding the return of the lunar surface. Speaking at Kennedy Space Center, NASA leadership announced that the agency is extremely confident. It's good to know that the Artemis 3 mission will launch in 2027. This high level of assurance is backed by physical progress inside the vehicle assembly building, where active stacking operations for this SLS rocket are officially underway. With the core stage engine integration, booster segments, and Orion spacecraft mate preparations hitting key milestones, NASA is aggressively pressing forward to ensure the hardware is ready to land a human crew near the lunar South Pole next year. So here's the interesting thing with this. It is 2026. Artemis 3 is going no earlier than Q4 2027. There is no way they are going to land someone on the moon in a month and a half. It will not happen. It will not. There is no. It takes. It's not even that it takes a year to build this rocket, because it's taken a year and a half to build Artemis 2. So, Artemis 2 was in February. Yes, Artemis 2 was in February. No. Was it? Yes, it was. Yes, it was. And it was great to watch. Whole thing, great to watch. And, but that took time. And launches slipped, and that slipped again. I think they were, nope. No, because they were going to go in February. They didn't go in February. They went in April. They went in April. Um, so it slipped behind that much, and I don't think that they will have a whole nother moon rocket ready in less than a year. Um, I don't think that they will do it. It they'd have to be building it before Artemis 3 even launches. They'd have to start then, and like at least early next year, they'd have to start building it if they wanted even the hope of doing it in 2028, um, which is when they want to do it. We'll see, but I'll believe it when I see it, and I'll be reporting on it when I see it. But speaking of when you see it, of now you see it and now you don't, it's time for This Week in Launches. We had 5 try to go. We had 4 make it. Ladies and gentlemen, 1 blew up this week. Finally, we can show a mishap, and it's China. Anyways, we are starting with Mission Fettiwap. So, this was Starlink Group 1738, which launched from California. Here's a mini video.
Miguel.
Stage separation confirmed.
MVAC startup.
Stage 1 FTS is
Alright. Here's what we all been waiting for. ChinaSat 4B. Wenchang. China. Long March 7A. Let's enjoy this. That was a big one, wasn't it? That was wild. Anyways, we had Mitsubishi 7. That was the one we talked about earlier from Japan. Then we had Starlink 1019 and Starlink 1749. Those launched from Florida and California respectively and landed on Shortfall, Gravitas, and Of Course I Still Love You respectively. I don't think we need to show the videos for those. Those were really routine. I don't think you want to see that either. But anyways, thank you for joining me in Orbit Weekly this week. I hope you enjoyed the video. I enjoyed making it. And we'll see you next time at Astra.